point of attack for the left, like not going through institutionalized learning facilities, is like they point at you and do that thing from Body Snatchers.
So this is Kyle Rittenhouse on Tim Pool's livecast, aka Timcast IRL. What we see here is a young kid, 19 years old, maybe a little bit nervous, but very confident and capable. He's on a podcast that has 1.4 million subscribers. Probably at this time 30,000 viewers, but again, 1.4 million subscribers. And he sounds no different than the cast of the show. Confident, just like Ian, Lucas, Tim, the rest of them. But regardless of that, what I want you to decide is this. Is this a crazy right-wing white supremacist nut job? Or just a kid who was doing what he thought he should do? I'm just saying, listen to him and make your own judgment.
This feels like the perfect story for Ian and Luke, who are ragging on the Fed the whole time. I just don't know if Kyle has any thoughts on like financial policy or anything like that, but you know, what do you think, man?
I'm 19.
So what kind of stocks and bonds do you have? What's your retirement, Kyle? Please tell us.
Kyle, crypto.
What Bitcoin are you in? What crypto are you in? Sorry, I'm just
I tried crypto for a little bit. I don't really understand it at all. I will be completely honest. I honestly am so lost in the conversation.
I was too a crypto.
But that's why I asked. I'm like, otherwise it's like Luke and Ian just go back and forth. And
we could keep going. Me and Ian could keep ranting. Also, just one last caveat here. Sam Bankman-Fried, by the way, will likely be moved to the same prison that Jeffrey Epstein was taken out of. So the story is going to be coming full circle very soon. No, that's not the joke. Yes, those are the reports coming in right now as he's being extradited to the United States as we're speaking right now. But Kyle, just more in general, to kind of ask you here to bring you in with this conversation financially, what are you seeing from your perspective? You're 19 years old, you're still young, but you know, what are you seeing with savings, money, how people are treating their money? Are people going out and partying and going crazy with their money, or are they saying, hey, times are really tough?
You know, some people I know a lot of kids my age. I live in a college town, and I see a lot of people that just go out and party. I stay at home. I'm facing a civil lawsuit right now. I really don't have the money to go out and do all these things that people my age are.
Oh, they did not.
Kyle, are you getting any flashbacks to your court proceedings?
You know, I mean, you look at this and then you look at how these people like. I keep forgetting.
Just grab the mic,
carry it around with you.
Yeah,
might as well hold it.
Yeah, so that's a good look.
You look back and then you look how they try to get them to go down these rabbit holes, and then they ask them these, like, I'm going to say it, leading questions. I think they are leading questions because
they know where they're going to get you.
Yeah. And they don't have they aren't preparing them, and they freak out. They freeze. They're like, how am I going to answer this? What if I say this? What if I say no? They are not sealing it, because like with your example with the saran wrap. What if I say no, it was not sealed? But then they say, what about the saran wrap? What about this? Wasn't there that on it? They're scared if they say no, they're going to think are going to think they're stupid because they're like, well, it was wrapped up.
So when we were all, I think everybody, glued to that court proceeding with you, and I felt like there were several times they tried to get you and you didn't let them get you. I mean, did you get practice? Did you envision or were kind of trained with the questions that they were giving you?
There was a couple questions out there that I didn't prepare for, but we did go through a mock trial. Dr. Joan Demetrius, she was my jury consultant, and she helped choose my jury, and then she helped set up the mock trials, and that's how we determined if I was actually going to testify, because two of the three panels heard me testify, and the two that heard me testify found me not guilty, and then the one that didn't hear me testify, they had a mistrial.
Did you want to testify from the beginning?
Yeah, I wanted to tell my story. I had nothing to hide.
Yeah. You were super authentic to me. Like, you came off very authentic.
I did nothing wrong. Yeah. I had the truth on my side, and I thought I wanted to tell my story.
It came off that way, I think, probably to most of us.
Yeah, and then you got a really great meme where you're pouring gas and crying. You saw that one? I think you posted that.
Yeah, I put it on a T-shirt.
What was the meme? Maybe I should just see the picture. I'll look for it.
It's the court proceeding.
So
where
Kyle, basically recounting the story, has an emotional, recurrence. And when gas prices went through the roof, Did you make that or did someone else make this meme? Basically, it's Kyle, basically you're starting to cry, but you're holding the gas pump in front of a car, like the gas prices got you.
I think somebody else made that meme. It's actually really funny because the left has used that meme against me so many times. They've made fun of me for it. So I just took it and I owned it.
Now you make money of it.
I'm not going to let you guys use my face and make fun of me for it. Good. So I'm going to make fun of myself.
That's how you do it.
That's humiliating.
Have you, I'm sorry.
No.
I was going to say, have you talked to Binger at all?
I have not talked to Fluffer Boy at all.
Nice.
No, I was going to say, we were just talking about with the Kerry Lake trial, how the media is falsely framing everything. That had to be, did you know the media was always lying about stuff before this happened? But and I have to imagine, as you're going through the court proceedings, and even before it, reading the media was like just fiction, just pure fiction.
I mean, you see the things the media are saying. They twist things, they use sound bites, and like, it's ridiculous. They try to get away with it, and in some instance, they do. I mean, they called me a white supremacist, a murderer, a vigilante, and none of those are true. But with the Kerry Lake situation, they're only saying parts that they want to say, and they're leaving stuff out. They're not telling the full story, and I think they should be obligated to, as the media, to report people on the facts.
Forgive me if this is too personal, but like, were there people that were close to you that started seeing you differently because they were believing the news instead of you?
I mean, I've lost a lot of friends and a lot of family members because they didn't want to fall out of like the clique or their friend groups.
Unbelievable.
But that's okay because it really shows who people are as humans, and now I have better people surrounding me.
Yeah, that's the positive way to look at that.
Hopefully it's like a curse, but like everyone gets to go through that in their life where they shed the skin of their past with the kids you grew up with and the parents that you don't like or don't get along with. If you don't, maybe you still do, but those people, when they start to disagree with you and complain about you're not who you used to be, that's okay because you're growing and changing as a person.
I just hope it doesn't callous any of us. Because I've been thinking about that myself after the last 2 years. They weren't as wild as what you went through, but like a lot of us have experienced that in the last 2 years, 10 years. And I'm like worried, like I don't want to be too callous and not extend that forgiveness to someone else who in the future, maybe I should still extend that.
Sometimes it comes full circle. Like you'll go through a phase where you fall out with people for whatever, 20 years. And then if you stay true to yourself, it's inevitably that you can't deny that reality, transparent reality when someone's really who they are. I think it's apparent.
My view on this is that I think some people are inherently evil.
Absolutely.
And
that's true for sure.
Obviously you can look at child exploitation and stuff and just know that there are truly depraved people. You can look at, I think it may have been Dahmer or Bundy, who they said at court, like, yeah, I know what I was doing was evil and wrong and all that stuff, and I deserve to be in prison or whatever.
Yeah.
So like they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But then you look at, there are some people like in my life, and I'm wondering if I assume you probably experienced something like this, people who you thought were really good friends of yours, because the way the media decided the story is going, just everything about your friendship, everything you've ever experienced is meaningless, and you are now enemies. I've experienced that personally with people I've known from my past. There's some of these people where the last thing I ever said to them was we had a skate session, we drank some smoothies, and I was like, bro, fist bump, let's skate next time, I'll see you later. And then you don't realize it, but it's the last time you ever hung out. But you leave on good terms. And then a few years later, they're on Twitter lying about you, smearing you, and attacking you. And I'm like, you never knew how evil that person was until they decided they could profit off of their knowledge of you or the fact that you were friends.
Yep.
Has something like that happened to you?
Yeah, I've seen that a lot of times, especially with people I've gone to school with. In the beginning, I was seeing some articles that they were like, oh, Kyle Rittenhouse was this like terrible person who was like violent in school. And I was just like, I wasn't violent in school. I dropped out freshman year. I wasn't a senior with you in high school. I since then did graduate, but I'm like, I was in school with you for like a year. You don't know who I am.
Yeah. I also dropped out freshman year.
Yeah. Look at you now.
Yeah. They're writing smears, and like this is a big point of attack for the left. Like not going through institutionalized learning facilities is like they point at you and do that thing from Body Snatchers.
Yep.
Like, and then they say, haha, that proves you're stupid, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm just running a business, man.
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say that's how I felt watching a lot of these defense attorneys today, like almost like laughing at the guy with the accent, like they couldn't even help it,
the Alabama guy.
Yeah, right. Like it was just like to them it was like kind of like a joke, not all of them, but like a few of them, and earlier some of them were joking about like what private schools they went to. They're from a different dimension than me, and you could see that in the way they treat other people.
What if they really are from a different dimension?
I think they
two
might be.
two universes collided, and that's why we have the culture war.
At least 2 universes.
Interdimensional demons is what some people call
Kyle,
them.
You said you dropped out, but then did you go back to school?
I ended up, while I was on trial, I did online school and I ended up getting my high school diploma. The left will attack people that don't have an education, but they will be some of the most successful business owners out there. Yet the person who is like $110,000 in debt because they wanted to get their doctorate degree or however much it costs.
Gender studies?
Yeah, their lesbian dance theory.